name is Elise, and I'm coming at you guys with another video. And this time I'm going to talk about the 4 things that I do as a military spouse to secure a job every time we PCS. Just to give you guys a little background on me, my husband has been in the military for 4 years, and we have PCS 3 times. So that's not normal for people usually to be PCS 3 times. But for him, he's gone through a lot of career changes. And so we've PCS 3 times in the last 4 years. This is his 5th year that he's been in. So yeah. So this is it'll be 5 years in October. So for me, I have successfully been able to secure jobs, and even secure jobs that I like, first of all, and secure jobs where I'm able to then get promoted. My job that I do now, I work for the government, and I actually work for the Department of Army, but I didn't start off like that. I got into the government, and then after that, I was able to move around. And people would say like, oh, that's easy. But there's actually a few things that you need to do as a military spouse to guarantee that position when you get to your next duty station. And I'm going to give you guys little tips of what I do to make sure when I go to the next duty station, I've secured a job. So the first thing that you want to do is start early. As soon as you know where you're going to PCS to, start looking for a job there. Seeing if there's an agency, if your agency that you currently work at is there, so that you can do a transfer, which is one of the easier things that you can do. But it's not a guarantee because your job has to be open in that area. So they won't create a job for you, but they can put you in an open position. So make sure that if once you find out where you're going, just check and see if your agency is available there too. And then you will be able to most likely be able to do a transfer, depending on what type of employee you are, of course. Also, with starting early, for me, I usually start probably 6 months in advance. I start applying. Government jobs, they'll usually hold the job for you. It's not a guarantee, but but for me, I've been able to work it out with supervisors where I can start, at a later date. Like, I'm not starting this immediately after I get my job. Like, for example, when I was moving from DC to Fort Leonard Wood, it was a completely different agency. It wasn't a transfer. I applied early. So I applied in August. I had my interview in October. I got hired in November. And then after that, I didn't actually start work until January. And that's actually like the end of January too. So they were able to hold the job for me until I was able to get there. And so if you're a spouse and you think, oh, this is too early to start applying, you never know. So always try to get in there, do your research, see if your position is available, see what positions equivalent to that position are available. And even if you're qualifying for like a promotion, apply for that too. Let them tell you no. And also, when you're PCSing, don't be scared to go ahead of your spouse. You don't have to go with your spouse sometimes. If you have to go ahead or you have to stay behind for a little bit in order to secure these jobs, then that's what you have to do as a spouse. Those PCS orders are solid. So as long as he has his official orders and that they're actually going to go to that area, go ahead and apply. And make sure, and just set yourself up ahead of time to make sure you're there to start the job. Just as a reminder, like you guys hear me talking about that this is like for federal jobs and government stuff, but this also applies also to outside jobs from the federal government, which brings me to my second point, which is going to be talk to your supervisor. When my husband first got into the military and we PCS, I was actually working for a company, and it was in Virginia, and we was PCSing to the DC area, so I had to move more up north. And this concept also applied. I did not work for the federal government then, and what I did was I talked to my supervisor. And when I talked to my supervisor, he ended up advocating for me when it came to getting another job in another area. He went and he talked to the district manager in the Maryland area where I was moving to. It helped me get a job there. Same thing for the federal government. when I was moving from Leonard Wood to Fort Bragg, my director ended up contacting Fort Bragg and asking them if they had any extra, if they had any positions open, and really advocating for me to move to the next city station. So it works for both. It works if you're in the federal government or outside of the federal government. These tips work for both sides. Your supervisor can be your biggest advocate, especially if you've been a good employee. If you've been a good employee and they're able to give you a good reference, they can confidently give you a good reference, and they want to do that for you. That's the best case scenario for you, because you have somebody there pushing for you. So not only will you have your talents to stand on, but you'll also have somebody behind them like, yeah, she actually lives up to those talents that she says that she possesses. So it brings me to my next point: making a federal resume. So a federal resume is just your resume formatted a little bit differently than what it's formatted probably currently, which is probably a regular resume format. So on USA Jobs, there's actually a tool that you can use to create a federal resume. And and I would use a federal resume just because when you apply for a job, you have to remember, especially if it's an entry-level job, there's probably a lot of people applying for that job. So you want to make sure that you got the best chance of getting pulled. USA Jobs kind of has this algorithm where it pulls those type of resumes. Or you don't want to be eliminated because you don't have that type of resume, and because it is, at the end of the day, a computer choosing you. So you want to make sure that you have that resume formatted correctly in the federal resume format. And you can also, once you use the USA Jobs tool, if you don't think it looks right after that, you can go to ACS, which is Army Community Service Center. Yeah, that's what it's called. And you can go there, and there's people there that can help you with your resume and go over it for you and proofread it and make sure that it says all the right things on it. So it brings me to my next point, which is the most important part about a federal resume is that it matches the job description that you're applying for. So every federal resume that you do, if you do one federal resume, it's not like a regular resume. You can't use it for multiple jobs. You have to use keywords. So when you're using keywords, you have to make sure that you're looking at that job posting. So you choose a job that you want to apply to. And from there, you make your resume based on that job. So whatever words you see repetitively used in that job posting, let's just say it's for budget, right? You're applying to be a budget analyst. So in your resume, make sure you mention something about budgeting in your resume. Make sure you mention something about finances. Make sure whatever key words that they use in that job posting, you're putting that in your resume, because that increases your chances of getting pulled. Remember, this is a computer choosing you, not a person. So all the computer is doing is seeing how much is this matching to what's in the job posting. And that's how you do it. You cannot use one resume for different positions. You cannot do it. If you try to do that, you probably won't get pulled. And you'll be like, why am I not getting pulled? Well, because you're using the same resume over and over again. These keywords is essential when you're applying for jobs. You need to use these keywords. It's going to take you a long time. Like for me, I have about, I'm trying to think about how many resumes I have in USA Jobs. And I want to say I have about 5 resumes in USA Jobs currently. And I labeled them all different things. Every single job that I apply for, I label the resume that. And so you want to make sure that when you're making these resumes, that they match your job posting. Those are going to be little things that's going to help you get that job resume pulled. It's going to increase your chances. And and it's not 100%. It's not foolproof. You're still competing with other people, but these are some things that I do to make sure that every time when I'm moving, I'm able to secure that bag. So this brings me to the end of my video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys thought about it. I am going to do another video on USA Jobs, and I'm going to go into depth about it. I'm going to tell you guys like exactly what to do when you're in USA Jobs, because I know a lot of people who navigate USA Jobs and it's so difficult for them. So I'm going to be doing another video about that. I want to thank all 49 of my subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please leave a comment below and let me know what things do you do to make sure when you're moving that you're securing the jobs. Every little advice helps everybody, so we're all in this together. And also, please share this on your military spouse pages. It would be great. Thank you guys.